It is exercise 5F, given one trig function, find another. Now, when you see sine theta equals 1/5, there are two things that you've got to look at. First, whenever you've got sine theta is a ratio, like a fraction, or cos theta or tan theta, you can draw a right angle triangle. Okay, now, sine theta is 1/5. So what I'm going to do is draw a right angle triangle first. But I'm going to do more than that. Now, sine theta is 1/5. There's my theta. Where do I put the 1 and where do I put the 5? So opposite over hypotenuse. So this is opposite, that's hypotenuse. So the first thing we've got is that sine theta is 1/5. So just draw a right angle triangle. Look, I'm doing it a little bit different to how the book does it. All right. I'm just going to draw the one triangle. They draw 2 or 3 or whatever. But you only need to draw 1. What do you think is the next thing that you should do here? Pythagoras. Yep, use Pythagoras' theorem to find the missing side. So let's do that. So that's what you do first. Sine theta is 1/5, but we need more information than that. We also know which quadrants we're in when they tell me sine theta is 1/5. Then we're going to work on that in a minute. But let's just find the missing side first. So I'm going to call it x, whatever. So how do I do it? X squared is 5 squared minus 1 squared, isn't it? What's that? 24. So x is the square root of 24. Are you okay with that? So x squared is 5 squared minus 1 squared, which is 24. So x is the square root of 24. I'm just going to call this square root of 24. Okay? That's my unknown side. Now, ladies, I'm not finished. Because sine theta equals 1/5, so I've got my right angle triangle. Now, if sine theta is 1/5, then sine theta is positive. So some questions will say sine theta is 1/5 or sine theta is negative 1/5. Look at it and you say sine theta is 1/5. That allows me to draw the right angle triangle and find the missing side. The next thing, look at it. Sine theta, is it positive or negative? Positive, because it's positive 1/5. Well, where is sine theta positive? Then sine theta is positive. So I can say that sine theta is positive, that means positive, plus VE. In which quadrants?
1 and 2.
Good. In quadrants 1 and 2. Now it's asking me for the possible values of cos theta. So therefore, because I can be in quadrant 1 or 2, so therefore, cos theta, if it's quadrant 1, what's my answer for cos theta if it's quadrant 1? Yep, it's positive, so it's root 24 on 5 if I'm in quadrant 1. But tell me about cos theta in quadrant 2. So I've got two answers for cos theta this time. All right, this is what's been defined. Sine theta is 1/5. Because of that, I know that I could be in quadrants 1 and 2 because sine theta is positive. I draw my right angle triangle and I know that the missing side is square root of 24. So I fill that in and I now know that cos theta is square root of 25 on 4 and it will be positive if I'm in quadrant 1, but in quadrant 2 it's negative. So I still got the same value, but I put a negative in front of it. So these are my two possible answers for cos theta. Positive square root 24 on 5 or negative. So therefore, my two answers, I've got two answers. It's plus or minus square root of 24 on 5. You okay with that? I've got two possible answers. Now, often they're not going to ask you for two answers. They're going to narrow it down to a quadrant for you. So after this question, all our other questions, there will be only one specific quadrant. But in part B, they're giving me a bit more information. Same question, so same question in part B. So I'm going to draw the triangle again. So that's part 1, two possible answers, all right? But part B is different. It says, find cos theta if it is also known that tan theta is negative. So we better work out, so when they tell you that tan theta is negative, they're trying to give you the location of the quadrants. So this is what I know. I know that sine theta is positive, or I can go in quadrants 1 and 2, because that was the original question. They're telling me also that tan theta is negative. Where is tan theta negative? Which quadrants? in quadrants 2 and 4. Can you see an overlap? So girls, if sine theta has to be positive and if tan theta has to be negative, so if sine has to be positive, I'm in there and there. And if tan has to be negative, so I'm here and here. If tan has to be negative, I'm in here or here. Can you see that I have to be in quadrant 2? So girls, the question is telling me that sine theta is 1/5. You have to read into it. Sine theta is positive. So we have to be in quadrants 1 or 2. But they're saying, but it's also known that tan theta is negative. All right, I'll go all stations to central. So tan theta is negative in 2 and 4. Can you see that quadrant 2 is the one where sine theta is positive and tan theta is negative? It's the common quadrant. So therefore, theta is in quadrant 2. We're in quadrant 2. In other words, they're talking about quadrant 2. Now, tell me about cos. Now we have to find cos theta. So in quadrant 2, tell me, is cos theta positive or negative? Negative. Therefore, cos theta is the negative answer. Okay, oops, there you go. Now, normally they won't give you the first part and the second part. They'll just ask you the second part straight away, which is what we're going to practice now. Okay? So in part A, there were 2 quadrants it could have been. But in part B, they're telling us, but also in this quadrant, tan's negative. So where is sine positive and tan negative? They're talking about, they want a quadrant 2 answer. So they want the value of cos theta, and we're talking about quadrant 2 now. Now I'm going to do this another 3 or 4 times. All right? And this time you don't have to play around in that first section. We're just going to go straight to the second bit. We've been given 2 pieces of information. It says find sine theta given that cos theta is negative 40 over 41 and that theta lies between 0 and 180. All right, let's just draw a right angle triangle. Don't worry about the quadrant yet, or we can worry about the quadrant if we want. Tell me, cos theta is negative where? I've got the cos theta is negative. Where's cos theta negative? In quadrants 2 and 3. And we know that theta is in quadrant 1 and 2. Theta is in quadrant 1 or 2. Have you got an overlap? So where can you definitely say that theta is? So quadrant 2, therefore theta is in quadrant 2. That's my overlap. See, they're telling me that cos has to be negative and theta has to be in quadrants 1 or 2. So the overlap is quadrant 2. So therefore we're talking about quadrant 2. Okay? So now what should I do with my, don't worry, so when you draw this triangle you don't need negatives on it. It's just positions. See, the negative tells you the quadrants. So this was quadrant 2 or 3, but they're saying no, you can only be in quadrant 1 and 2. So the common one is quadrant 2, so we have to be in quadrant 2. Okay, we draw the right angle triangle. Don't worry about the negative. The negative just tells you which quadrant. Okay, where do I put the 40? Where do I put the 41? Adjacent. Hypotenuse. Work out the missing side. I'll just call it x. Squared is 41 squared minus 40 squared. Get an answer. X is the square root of whatever that is. And you'll write that in on your diagram. And then we're going to answer the question. Sine theta. So therefore sine theta is going to be 9 on 41. Is it going to be positive or negative? What quadrant are we in? Positive. Yeah, it's positive. It's quadrant 2. So it's therefore sine theta is going to be positive. Can I just write sine theta is greater than 0? It's positive. So how did I know not to put a negative in front of that? We've already worked out that we have to be in quadrant 2. And according to all stations to central, sine theta is positive in quadrant 2. You're going to work out the missing side. And then you're going to work out the quadrant. So I'll just give you a scaffold. Sine theta is negative in, and cos theta is positive, in other words greater than 0 in, therefore the quadrant that you want is, and you're going to work out your missing side, and then you're going to find tan theta at the end. Off you go. Negatives on the diagram is if I've drawn the number plane, and I'm not drawing the number plane, I'm just doing the triangle. You don't want to have to be drawing triangles backwards, upside down. All right, so sine theta, opposite, over hypotenuse. So did anyone work out the missing side? What did you get? Missing side's 20. Beautiful. So what's your answer? Because of this, we know we're in quadrant 4. Tan theta is negative, so it's negative opposite over adjacent. 21 on 20 is your answer. Negative 21 on 20. Now the next one, you'll be okay. Same rules apply, but this is sec and cot, and they've told us that theta is reflex. Now you've still got, do you remember reflex angles? All right. You're going to have to look at your third letters. Sec, third letter. Cot, third letter. We're going to have to draw a triangle. I'd be doing my triangle probably first if you want. There is 9 on 40, so tan theta, which is the one you like to do, is 40 on 9, and then decide to put them on. Do you get it? That might help. So if cot theta is 9 on 40, then tan theta is 40 on 9, and you like to do opposite over adjacent. Or you just go there and do it the opposite way round when it's cot. Now, third letter. Let's work out, you want to work out your missing side? Let's work out our missing side. Yep. So we've got x squared, I'll do it over here. X squared is 40 squared plus 9 squared, which is, and x is the square root of, which is. Did you get 41? I don't know what you get there. You could have just gone x is the square root of all that too in one step. Isn't that 1681? Exactly. Yep, good. So our missing side is 41. Now we're going to have to work out the quadrant. Look at the information given. Cot theta is positive or negative? That means which quadrant are we talking about? So cot theta or tan theta, cot theta is positive in where tan theta is positive. It's 1 and 3. But theta is in, do you know what a reflex angle is? You got obtuse, you got straight line, reflex. Reflex is bigger than 180. So which quadrants? Bigger than 180. Quadrant 3 and 4. So quadrant 3, quadrant 4. See, reflex is not just quadrant 3. You can reflex all the way back to almost 360 as well. All right, can you see which quadrant you're in? So the common one is 3. So therefore we are sitting in quadrant 3. Okay, you have to find sec theta. Yes, so I'll draw you 2 reflex angles now. You know how that's straight line? That's a reflex, got it? But watching, there's also this. That's reflex as well. So that one's quadrant 3, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3. And this one is quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 types of reflex. So it's not like obtuse, only one obtuse between 90 and 180. But reflex is anything from 180 to 360. Okay, you can bend backwards and you can bend backwards even more. Okay, so what have we got? Tell me. You have to find sec. Now sec is like what? Sec theta, we're worried about cos. What sec theta is positive or negative in quadrant 3? Is negative in quadrant 3 because it's the same as whatever cos is. Sec will follow the same rule as cos. So your sec theta is going to be negative. So sec theta is, you know what, if you want, do cos first so you don't get mixed up. So what would cos be? 9 on 41. So what's sec? 41 on 9. Okay.
Isn't it negative?
Thank you. Good girls. Very good. Negatives. Make sure you can see the negative. So it's negative 41 on 9. This one's a little bit different because we've got a negative angle through to a positive angle. So we still need to know which quadrants they're talking about. But you can start with your triangle first. Be careful. cot. Cot is, yes, so you might want to write cot theta is 2 on root 3. So tan theta is root 3 on 2. Got it? Do you know where you're going to put your root 3 and 2? Off you go. And work out your missing side. Root 3 is the opposite one. Toa, adjacent. Now you need to work out your hypotenuse. X squared is root 3 squared. I'd be writing this one out. Because what's root 3 squared? 3. 3 plus what? 4. 7. X is? Good. Put that in. Now you're going to tell me which two quadrants, and there are two quadrants here. Which two are they talking about? Start from 0. You know, that's like a number line. Negative 90, 0 is in the middle. Yes, very good. 1 and 4. Because why? That's 0 and that's 90. So from 0 to 90, that's quadrant 1. And from 0 to negative 90, if I was going in the negative direction, that's quadrant 4. So that's quadrant 1 and 4. You got it? You're going to get more confident with that in our next exercise where we give solutions as negative angles. So, see, from negative 90 to 90. So you're going from negative 90 to 0 and from 0 to 90. We're talking quadrant 1 and 4 for that bit. So theta is in quadrants 1 and 4, but look at cot theta. Cot theta is positive or negative? Positive in quadrants, underline the T, 1 and 3. Which quadrant are we in? We're in 1, because the common one is 1. Therefore, you are in quadrant 1. Now, you have to find cosec theta. Everything's positive in quadrant 1. That's a good result. So, before you find cosec, which one do you want to find? So, you have to find cosec. So, let's find sine first. So, sine is root 3 on root 7, and it's positive. So, cosec is just the reciprocal. Root 7 on root 3. Question 10C. Don't worry about find cot theta yet. Work out your missing side. Work out what quadrant you're in. Okay? Now we know that sec theta is negative. Underline your third letter and you just say now where's cos theta negative? All stations to central. It's negative in 2 and 3. Cosec theta is negative. Underline your third letter. Where is sine negative? In 3 and 4. Your common one is 3. So therefore we're in quadrant 3. And now you can answer your question, which is to find cot. Tell me about cot in quadrant 3. Cot theta is whatever tan is. Positive. So it's positive. 1 on 1, which is 1. It's positive in quadrant 3. I'd be underlining those third letters if I were you. The challenge section, and it says, same method, but same method. Given that sine theta is P on Q, you're going to draw your right angle triangle. You're going to put your P and Q in their place, and you're going to work out the missing side. And they're telling us that theta is obtuse. Well, they've just told you what quadrant you're in. And we know that just the numbers P and Q are both positive. You have to find cos theta and tan theta. Sine theta is P on Q. Do you know where your P and your Q are going? What's sine? Opposite over saw. Hypotenuse. All right, the missing side's x again. That's all right, you can work it out. You're just not going to work it out. Like you'll leave an expression for it. X squared is, yeah, x squared is q squared minus p squared. You can't simplify that. So therefore x is the square root of that. So that's your missing side. You leave it. And now you're going to do all the same stuff again. So sine theta is, well, if P and Q are both positive, then sine theta is positive in quadrants. And theta is in quadrant, because they've actually told you what theta is. Theta is obtuse. What quadrant's that? Girls, no. Theta is obtuse. It's just in quadrant 2. Sine is positive in 1 and 2. But they're telling us that theta is obtuse. Now, you know the angles start from here, positive direction of the x-axis. It's that. That's quadrant 2. See? So we're in quadrant 2. Therefore, we are in quadrant 2. So now you have to answer your question. Find cos theta and tan theta. All stations to central. Negative. What about tan in quadrant 2? So they're both negative. And now what's cos? Adjacent over hypotenuse. Square root of q squared minus p squared over q. And tan is negative, because we said it's negative, whatever p is, over that. Notice, girls, it's not, the process is not different. The only difference is you don't get a number and you just leave it like that.